Hola, soy Ana Paula López. I'm Ana Paula López, and I want to share you my story. So, since I was a little girl, I have been very active. And before I entered into this yoga world, I was training for triathlons. And then I ended up injuring one of my knees, and the doctor said, well, you seem to be very flexible, so why don't you go to yoga? And for me, it was like super frustrating because, triathlons, active, yoga, like flexible. It was really kind of like an unexplored field. But finally, I ended up being in like my first class. I didn't know, obviously. It was a rocket yoga class. It hooked me like instantly. I saw it as such a challenging experience. Obviously, I started with the body part, like it wasn't that spiritual at all. And then, so that's where my journey started. I was working at the time in the fashion industry, and one of my colleagues, she was like, oh yeah, I'll join to yoga with you. So we had the studio, like just honestly, like crossing the street. We ran, when we get off from the office bus, and then we, like run to get to our yoga class. At that time, I was very like in the path of doubting myself and what was I doing, because it was fast fashion, where if like really I was giving anything, or if I was like actually like filling my heart with something by doing that. And eventually I started to kind of like burn out. That was the beginning of the end. So this happening, and then my yoga practice started to be consistent. So every time that I went to the studio, I was like, dude, those teachers, they look kind of happy, and they are all sun, and they are barefoot, and I'm like high heels, super fashion makeup, no sleep, super stressed out. So that instantly changed my mind, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna go and be a yoga teacher. So I quit my job on a Friday and took a plane on a Saturday to Mysore, India, and that's where my journey began. I became a yoga teacher, a 200-hour yoga teacher. I made it with my guru Santosh, and then I trained for a couple of weeks with Sarasvati Joyce in the Ashtanga community. It's very known. And then from there, I practiced in Goa, and then I came back to Barcelona to be in my yoga teacher journey, which I was feeling like, oh my God, I'm so not prepared, like after 2 months. It was challenging that first year. Also, I was kind of struggling in my own like personal relationship. So that was very challenging. And but then I was like, dude, like I am, like I come from business, so I'm gonna create like a studio. I'm gonna run the whole business. And that's what I did. After less than a year, I opened up a studio with the one teacher that gave me my first class and a friend of hers. So first things, like as a business person, I think that one of the most important things in the journey of creating a business is to choose wisely your partner. And I mean it, like it's worse than an ex-boyfriend. I mean it. I didn't choose right. And then I had like a very difficult journey at the beginning because I didn't start from zero. I started from like minus 20. Long story short, it became very challenging to run with the studio all on my own. At the end of 1 month, I ended up like doing that. And I started running 20 classes a week. 5 of them were Mysore, under so much stress at my home and at the studio, and being an entrepreneur, like for the first time in a place that it's not my country, and because I'm Mexicana, by the way. And well, anyways, it was super challenging. And this is when I really would love to have someone to help me out as I am trying to help you guys. I finally shut down my studio after almost 4 years. Plenty of bad decisions on the partner's part, and on bad decisions as a business. I was super bohemian about what to include in the yoga off and not include. So the good thing about having the studio was that I had the chance to have a super amazing networking. I met my teacher, David Kyle. I met Danny Rama. I met Patrick Beach. I met Jared McCann. So many amazing people and teachers and boosters of wellness that kept me going in the path. But I remember the exact moment I realized that passion alone wasn't enough to run a yoga business. After pounding my heart into teaching and opening my own studio, I found myself exhausted, overwhelmed, and constantly worried about money. I really, truly love teaching, but not all day long. Between marketing, managing the students, handling finances, and being an entrepreneur, I was burning out really fast. I knew I had to make a change, take a full stop, and that is what I did when I shut down my studio. After the dust fell into place and blurriness disappeared, I saw everything super clear. My background in marketing and business strategy and my former yoga studio expertise are an asset to understand and help others to not fail in the same frustration loop that I was in. I started applying real proven strategies to my yoga career, building a brand attractive, the right students, and creating a stable income without overworking myself. The transformation has been life-changing. I'm still in the path, don't get me wrong, still learning, but I not only regained control of my time and energy, but I also created a profitable business that it's aligned with my values. Now, I help other yoga teachers to do the same so they can teach, thrive, and build a sustainable career without stress or burnout. With 20 years of experience in international marketing and 7 years in the yoga world, almost 8, I bring a strategic approach to yoga business success as a former studio owner, experiences curator, event organizer for top yoga teachers, as I said, and I understand both the creative and business side of the industry. My unique mix of marketing, expertise, and deep yoga experience allows me to help yoga teachers turn their passion into a profitable, fulfilling career. Thank you for listening to me and joining the path. Que la luz que brilla en ti ilumine todo lo que toca. Namaste.